Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions regarding this watch. Today, we discuss a piece from a revival brand, L.Leroy, a resurrection of a grand old name from horological history. The modern L.Leroy makes timepieces that are considered an homage to an era, but also contemporary in material, fit, finish, and technical spec. So what we have here is a model launched in 2013 in rose gold. This is the Osmior Monopussoir Chronograph, a timepiece 41 millimeters in diameter and actually quite slim at only 12 thick. 50 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, and we have a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now it is L.Leroy. It's definitely not Leroy or Leroy, and this is a watch that, as you can see, is a little bit on the large size for a dress timepiece, and that's mostly a function of the width of the lugs. So 50 millimeters lug to lug is large for a dress watch. It's not thick at all. It'll fit easily under a dress cuff, no issues there. But I'd recommend a wrist my size or larger to wear it because it is fairly large lug to lug, and it does have quite a wingspan. Strap is extremely supple and appealing. You can see it's a L.Leroy factory strap, small, round scale, alligator leather on the bottom, and then we have large rectangular symmetrical scales on the top. And so this is a high-grade strap, very similar to what we're seeing on a lot of contemporary high-end brands. Louis Lee Chopard, Vacheron, de Bethune, F. Pigeon, and many others are adopting the gator on both sides approach, which makes for a strap that costs a few $100s more, but also lasts years longer. Taking a quick look, you can see right here, it says véritable is not vegetable. Let's just be clear about that. This is a real hide strap, L.Leroy buckle. And then we can see that the timepiece uses lugs drilled relatively close to the case to move the pivot centers inboard for better fit. As a result, curved spring bars are used so there's no impediment to the motion of the strap. We have a little bit of a nod at the lug style of Chrono Swiss with stepped lugs that come to a little bit of a tapered bulb, and you can see that there's a soft bevel and a fluting across the top, but it is its own thing design-wise. The lugs are neither broken out as dramatically as you'd find on a Chrono Swiss or even a Lunga, and the profile is unique to L.Leroy. Taking a look over at the crown, you can see it's a coaxial monopusher with the company logo, and then a sharp knurling on the side. We have a case back and bezel, each with a flange that define the mid-case. Everything's polished. Then we get to the dial side where we have real rose-lathe guilloche, and we have a lovely and simple aesthetic. So what we've got is a watch that is a monopusher with a combination of center seconds and then a 60-minute running tally. We'll reset this now. You can see how all that works. So you've got a 60-minute counter, a 60-second counter, a lovely pyramid at center. You can see no fewer than 3 distinct cuts on this dial. It's a good-looking composition. We also have a dial with several cut and polished chapterings that give us the luster of polished gold, and a unique set of hands that, as far as I can tell, are bespoke to the company and thus very distinctive of its design aesthetic. You can see derived from the logo itself. The pusher feel is excellent. It is a mono pusher, so you start, stop, and reset in that order. You can see outboard the track for the seconds, minutes, and fractions of seconds is dropped down below the hour track, which gives it a nice three-dimensional aesthetic. As we turn it all over, you can see that this watch is indeed a Besançon French observatory chronometer. So there is an observatory at Besançon in France. It uses the same ISO standards that go into a Swiss COSC certification. So in terms of tolerances, the measurements are the same, but the difference is at Besançon, the fully assembled watch goes through the test, whereas with the COSC, it's a bare movement test that doesn't include some parts of the movement. Any part of the watch and even some complications included with the movement are not included in the chronometer test. So the Besançon test is considerably more comprehensive. Besançon, France, of course, a longtime famous center along with Morteau of French watchmaking excellence, and then more distantly Paris as well. You can see we've got a gold rotor on the back. And we have several different finishes. We have beveling, we have media blast, we have satination, we have stripes on the bridges, beveling within the jewel sinks. You can see the edges of the bridges are handsomely beveled, mostly by mechanical means, but attractively so. Automatic winding, 48-hour power reserve, twin barrel design. It's all based on a modular chronograph system with a Vaucher 4001 base, and you can see the Vaucher star as well as the model number right under the balance, which beats away at 4 hertz. 32 joule movement adjusted in 5 positions, chronometer style. We have engine turning on the base plate, snelling on the edge of the bridges, and polished screw heads. And all of this is water resistant down to 50 meters. If you want something different, this is a great way to do it. Handsome, interesting, and gracefully thin dress watch. It's large for a dress watch, but some people need that extra wrist presence. It's also handsome with a beautifully balanced dial that has perfect bilateral symmetry and a little bit of French watchmaking luster that you don't often find in the mainstream luxury watch sector. So lots to love, and of course we have a very flat torque curve and consistent timekeeping due to the twin barrels of the Vaucher base caliber. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.